Gary's Tour fans. We're leaving Manhattan and driving to East Hampton. And we left the Upper West Side and jumped on to the Cross Bronx Expressway. I used to view this as a large parking lot most of the time. It's the same road that was here probably 50 years ago, maybe 60 years ago. And the population has tripled since then, and the road is still 3 lanes in each direction. So it is understandably crowded most of the time, all hours of the day and night. And once again, I apologize to you about the sun flare on this drive, because we're generally going in an easterly direction. Although this time of year the sun is usually off to the slightly to the northeast, we're getting some sun flare, much more sun flare than I would like at this time. But they're predicting a beautiful day. It's cool. It's August 26th. I'm sorry, it's July 26th, and they're predicting a high near 82. Humidity is very low. It's very comfortable. As a matter of fact, I had the heat on initially this morning. Now we're very excited now because yesterday we finally got our 2 brand new books approved by Amazon, and there are photo books of our favorite 80 photographs of Harlem. One in the form of a paperback and one in the form of a hardcover. And they're absolutely beautiful books. The hardcover, I believe, is selling for $39. The paperback is selling for $29. And they should be available probably by next weekend. Amazon is going through their final approval processes and making little tweaks and minor changes here and there, basically to improve the quality of the books as much as they can. I can't fault them at all. Now we're getting a good chunk of sun flare here, which I once again apologize to you for. In driving videos, unless you're driving in the rain, occasionally you're going to get sun flare. There's not a lot we can do about it. Say the Throgs Neck Bridge is only about a mile away. The exit for the Throgs Neck Bridge is only a mile away. We're going over the Throgs Neck Bridge and we'll be heading south toward the Long Island Expressway. We'll be taking that all the way out till the point where we jump onto the Sunrise Highway, State Route 27 in New York. And then that will take us all the way out, as far out as we want to go. We actually could go to Montauk Point, but we're not doing that today. We may do the Montauk Lighthouse and the village of Montauk in a later video. Today our prime target is East Hampton, Amagansett, and Sag Harbor. Be a separate video made of each, along with this driving video of how to get there. Many folks enjoy driving videos. There are driving videos of almost every city where you can see what the city is like, and there are driving videos of people driving from Manhattan, just like we're doing, out to the Hamptons. Hamptons, we should be going over the Frog's Neck Bridge. Bad way to get through the Hamptons. Traffic so far looks pretty good. Don't know what will happen when we get to the bridge, but we'll find out very shortly. And then we have the Cross County Expressway, or Cross County Parkway, to take us down to the Long Island Expressway. That sometimes gets crowded as well. We'll see how this looks. But I'm very pleased with the traffic, the pattern of traffic. A lot better than ice and snow and rain. If I had kids in the car, I'd play a game with them. Let's count the Teslas. Lots and lots of Teslas these days. Boat. I had a 15-foot little skiff with a very small horsepower engine on it. I came with a friend. We drove right out to this bridge from where I lived in Washington. And we were watching the bridge being built. The bridge had not yet been built, and we drove right out here and watched the bridge in Long Island Sound being built. The Frog's Neck Bridge. Washington was a great place to live. Lots of fishing, boating, great restaurants. And that's where I grew up. Bridge is beautiful at night when it's lighted. Now you get a really good view. I don't know if you folks can see it from where you're viewing. A good view of all Manhattan and Queens. We don't have side view cameras on this. Someday I'm going to get a setup where I have a side view camera as I'm driving along and integrate all three. That may come when we're doing 8K. I think is coming soon. I think maybe the next phone they come out with, or one shortly after that. I'm not sure. And then it'll integrate seamlessly with the Apple headphones, which are spectacular. I've previewed them. They're wonderful. You can literally, it's true virtual reality with, you can look around in 3 different directions, turn completely around if you want. Even being able to have a video of 3 sides would be a big step in that direction. It would make things a little easier. Pardon my cough. sense traffic as we get to Long Island now. Now we're approaching Long Island. Closing a lane here, squeezing us into another lane. I always wonder what purpose this is designed to serve. So now we can't take the Cross Island Parkway. It's closed. Maybe it is. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. They moved us out of that lane. And nope. They haven't closed it off. We still get back on it. They were just parking trucks on the side of the road. I've seen a lot of that today. You have Department of Transportation trucks from both Pennsylvania and New York, where they park vehicles on the side of the road. In Pennsylvania, they blocked in New Jersey. They blocked New Jersey Transit blocked 2 lanes on a 3-lane road on a commuting time. Everything was backed up about 15 miles, bumper to bumper. 2 or 3 lanes went down to 1, and I didn't see a lot of work getting done. I don't understand these things, but one would think they try to do the work on these roadways in the middle of the night rather than the daytime, so there's less interference with traffic and traffic patterns and people trying to get to work. It's almost time for a coffee stop. We're coming up on Northern Boulevard, which intersects with this road, the Cross Island Parkway. We always stop at a Burger King there for coffee, which we're going to get momentarily. Absolutely gorgeous day. I've been told I say that too much. Absolutely beautiful. I do enjoy absolutely beautiful days. And here's Northern Boulevard. Our pit stop. We'll stop recording as soon as we get off the roadway. Make our pit stop, coffee, and then record again. And remember, this tour is brought to you in 60 frames per second, 4K, by Gary's Tours. Please subscribe and like. On the lower right-hand corner of the screen, you see a little subscribe button. Just punch that button, and the benefit for you is that you'll be notified immediately as soon as any new videos are released. I want to remind you again that we have a book coming out. It's my favorite 80 photographs of Ireland. If you like travel, if you like Ireland, the book is coming out, and it's on Amazon. Paperback $29.99, hardcover $39.99. We encourage all of our subscribers to take a look at it and consider buying it. Great holiday presents. If you have any relatives that are Irish or wish they were Irish or like beautiful photographs of Ireland, might consider that as a holiday gift. find it very easily on Amazon.com by simply searching my favorite 80 photographs of Arnold. Or search under my name, Gary Gramer, Gramer, and see what pops up. You'll see the books there. And remember, the easiest way to find our channel is to search YouTube. Not Google. Go to YouTube, search Google and go to YouTube. When you get to YouTube, then search Gary's Tours. We're not big enough to show up on Google yet, but we do show up pretty quickly on YouTube. And here we are at Northern Boulevard, endeavoring to satisfy a coffee urge. All others. We have a couple hundred yards to go once we get to this point and we're on the expressway. Then we'll be going directly into the sun. Sun lights up the imperfections in the glass and in the window, all the little scratches and nicks, dust and things that have accumulated, and reflections from the dashboard. Let's see. But we're actually making very good time going out to the Hamptons today. I don't know if this good time making will continue once we get on the expressway. We'll know in about a quarter of a mile when we get on the expressway. And what kind of traffic we find there. This could be commuting traffic heading somewhere else. Looks like it's moving, but heavy, but moving on the long expressway from where I can see. It's on that overpass above, so that's our first indication of traffic flow. It's moving better into the city than out of the city for some reason. Now I love this when the people who didn't want to get in the slow lane all of a sudden come up from a faster lane and try to slide in and get ahead of you. That's very nice, very polite. Here's another one. Watch him try to get in. I try to keep them out, but that doesn't work all the time. He slipped right in there. He thinks he's probably better than us, I guess. I'll be back, he says, in his Mercedes-Benz. I'll be back. Okay. And if I was a cop, I'd be giving tickets to everybody. But that's just me. My grandfather was a motorcycle cop. Maybe that's where I get it from. Then he became a detective. That probably would be more fun for me at this point in my life, being a detective rather than a motorcycle cop. I'd categorize it. And it's usually heavy but moving at this juncture because you have probably 6 lanes moving into 3. There's a motorcycle guy who wants to die. Has a strong death wish, no doubt. Okay, I can't complain about this. We should be, I would say should be in East Hampton in about no more than an hour to an hour and a half from here. So let's see how long it takes us. Is very blue. Looks like the sun may be burning up some of the clouds ahead of us. Remember, this is being brought to you by Gary's Tours. You see the red little YouTube logo on the right-hand bottom corner of the screen. You touch that with your finger or click it with your mouse. You'll automatically subscribe and like, and the benefit for you of that will be that you'll automatically receive a notification from YouTube every time we post a new video. We post videos every Friday. And this time of year, we'll be posting them probably twice a week, once on Friday and once on Wednesday. Next year, we're going to Ireland for 3 months. And we'll be doing another Irish photo book of our favorite photographs of Ireland. This time, we'll be focusing more on the eastern part of Ireland and the northern part of Ireland. Last year it was mostly Kerry County and the west-southwest of Ireland that we focused on. When people say go to Ireland and see the whole place in a week, you'd really be pushing your luck. You're not going to see much. And even though it looks like we're shooting through fog, it's really just the angle of the sun, the flare of the sun, and the filthiness of the windows. I try to keep them clean, but those are scratches that can't come off. basically sunflower. These days the truckers use the lane to the left, which we used to call the fast lane. It used to be the trucks were supposed to keep right except when passing, and now they sometimes drive like they're driving a sports car. It's just the way the world has changed, I guess. On this road all the way out until we go south to New York State Route 27, which will take us out to the Hamptons. It goes all the way to Montauk. Once again, I'd like to remind you we're very excited today. That's why I can't stop talking about it. We have 2 books coming out by the end of this week. This is July 26th. Hopefully by August 1st they'll be out. 2 months ahead of schedule, which is good. Just in time for holiday shopping. Called My Favorite 80 Photographs of Ireland 2024. Once again, I say my favorite 80 photographs of Ireland 2024. If you search that name on Amazon, you will find it. And if you see it, we recommend you buy it. I think you'll enjoy it. The paperback is $29.99 and the hardback is $39.99. We put a lot of work and effort into it. It's been in production for the last couple of months, and I think you'll find it a very enjoyable book, and would also make an excellent gift for the holidays. Tesla. When you shop for Teslas, black is free. And a Tesla gray, I think, is also free colors. If you want any color other than that, it's $2,000 or $3,000 extra. If you want blue, white, red, it's like another $3,000 added on to the sticker price. I drove one for a couple of weeks in Florida there. I drove a Tesla Model S. Fastest car I've ever driven. It would leave a Corvette in the dust. Simply because the torque of an electric engine is completely different than a gas-powered engine. There's no gears to go through. no hesitation. You step on the gas pedal. I tested it on the Alligator Alley with no police around, no other cars on the highway, just me. I stopped in the center of the alley and pushed my pedal to the floor. It was like being in a jet plane that was about to take off. It pressed me into the seat. I think if it had wings and if I get it up to 140 miles an hour, it'd probably fly. I don't think it has the right propulsion system to take off and land. We're approaching exit 40. Out of New York City, we are in Nassau County. We're coming up on Suffolk County. And East Hampton, as you probably know, is in Suffolk County. They're saying no commercial traffic in the left lane or the hub lanes. That's the way it used to be. When I start these video adventures, I'm always excited because I'll be seeing new places. I'll be seeing how I used to frequent Amagansett a great deal and East Hampton a great deal, but I haven't been there for a while. But you can see how these locales have changed. And I started going to Sag Harbor when I was about 5. So I went there many times with my parents in the summers. That was one of our favorite vacation spots in the summertime. Traffic snag here, it looks like. More cars than roadway, sadly. This is a Friday, so it's possible that there'll be more people. Usually it's later in the day heading out to the Hamptons for their weekend retreats. We're doing it relatively early in the morning. Many people don't decide to bail until about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And by 4 or 5 o'clock, it's usually pretty heavy on this roadway going out to the Hamptons. Roadway was planned in the 30s by Robert Moses and built in the 50s. But as I've mentioned in prior videos, in 1961 the population of the United States hit a record high of 131 million people. Now we're at somewhat higher level, like 235 million people. So in just the 60 years since 1961, we've added 200 million people to our population. And of course, this road was the same size back then as it is now. Woodbury is the first town in Suffolk County off of this expressway. I remember that because when I was learning how to drive, I was driving at 16 or trying to learn how to drive at 16 with a driver's license. And until you were 17, you weren't allowed to drive with a learner's permit in Nassau County, but you could in Suffolk County. So my father would take me out to teach me how to drive in Suffolk County. Suffolk County at the time was much more of a rural county than it is now. Now there's very little rural area in Long Island at all. Almost everything is built up. Still some farms left, but the farms have mostly been sold to vineyards and wineries, which is much more profitable than growing corn and potatoes. Potato farms are pretty well gone too. They've all gone to whatever potato farms were left. In the 70s, they had farmers deeding away their development rights. So the county was literally condemning that, giving them money to promise in their deeds not to build, and they weren't allowing it to just develop it, had to stay farming agricultural property. So what's happened is that property couldn't be developed by builders, so vineyards bought it all up. And now, on what used to be potato farms, they're growing wine, growing grape for their vineyards. So there's a whole bunch of different flavors of wine being grown both on the North and South Fork and on former farms. me up on Bethpage, and Old Bethpage, and the Bethpage State Park, which has the golf courses, some of which are used in the PGA tournament, particularly the black course. When we were in high school and college, we'd drive out here and play the black course, which was the PGA course. It's the most challenging and most difficult course here. I'd also go to Bethpage because they had horseback riding there. As a matter of fact, that's where the Marlboro Man had a horse stable with his wife, and he did acting for the Marlboro commercials in the 60s, riding on horses and smoking a Marlboro. And he also had a horse stable here in Old Bethpage or Bethpage, and I used to go out and ride horses there. Very good looking guy, by the way, the Marlboro Man. I think he died of lung cancer. We're now in Suffolk County. It's a beautiful Kia, that blue shade. I like that. See the blue Kia ahead of us now? Very beautiful shade, I think. I always favor blue. This is a blue car. This car is more sky blue. That's a dark sky blue. Probably because I have blue eyes. Maybe that's what attracts me to blue. I don't know. There goes a Hampton Jitney. New York to the Hamptons. Non-stop. picks you up in Manhattan and does the driving for you out to the Hamptons. It makes 4 or 5 stops in each community out in the Hamptons. You can have your friends pick you up or take a taxi to where you live, or an Uber to where you want to get to. Excited about the people we might meet today and the stores we might visit out here. Beaches we may go to and see. And remember, this is being brought to you by Gary's Tours. If you like this video or videos like this, hit the red button in the lower right hand corner with either your finger or your mouse, and click it or touch it, and you'll automatically be subscribed to this channel, and you'll be notified when any new videos come out. We're also very excited this week that we'll be releasing on August 1st 2 books, one hardcover, one paperback, called My 80 Favorite Photographs of Ireland 2024. This will be part of a series that we're going to do every year, depicting different parts of Ireland. Next year, in 2025, it's going to be Eastern Ireland and Northern Ireland. This year it's Western Ireland, Corny, County Kerry, Corny National Park, that area. And the Cliffs of Moher, the Cliffs of Kerry, which I personally think are better than the Cliffs of Moher. Everyone goes to Ireland and takes a bus from Dublin to the Cliffs of Moher, and I think they might be better off going to the Cliffs of Kerry, which is much less popular, less crowded, and just as nice. We also cover a wonderful spot with a lot of photographs of Valentia Island. Not Valencia Island like the town in Spain, but Valentia, Valentia Island in Ireland, which is in Ireland, which is the most extreme western part of Ireland. It's where the first transatlantic telegraph cable was laid between Europe and Canada. And it went across the Atlantic in 1859. And it worked in 1859. They were able to transmit back signals to Europe. And for the first time, what used to be a 6-day or a week delay in news going back and forth, it was now cut down to almost instantaneously. Sadly, about 2 weeks after the cable started operating, apparently a fish bit into it or something happened to it and it stopped working. They had to lay a new cable 2 or 3 years later. And the subsequent cable they laid was working until from 1862 through the 20s, when it was replaced in the late 20s by wireless communications. And now, of course, there are many, many fiber optic cables laid across the ocean. There's a lot of satellite communications that were started in the 60s and 70s. So the telegraphs are a little obsolete at this point. And now I can pick up my phone and call Ireland. I have a T-Mobile account, and we're not sponsored by T-Mobile, but for $15 a month, they allow me to call anywhere in Europe from here. So I can keep in touch with the friends that I've made in Ireland, call them anytime I want to. I have to call them early in the morning here to get them in the middle of the day there. Certainly not much after 12 o'clock, because then it's going into dinner time and people going to pubs and going home and having dinner and things like that once you pass 1 p.m. Eastern time. Ireland's a wonderful place. I'm considering immigrating there. But I grew up on Long Island. I love Long Island as well. But it's very crowded. And the traffic is much worse than I remember when I was young. It's much more crowded. In Ireland, they have video cameras on most of the highways. And the video cameras take a picture of the front and back of your car and clock the speed that you're going. Then they mail you a ticket if you're speeding. And they charge you points. Similar to here. If you pick up 3 or 4 speeding tickets, depending upon how fast you're going, you can lose your license in Ireland. And Ireland will report whatever they do to you back to whatever state you happen to live in here. And you see very little law enforcement's presence. They don't give out traffic tickets. It's all mostly electronic. When you obtain an Irish driver's license, you have to give them a credit card for them to charge the tickets you might acquire on. So you're not given a notice of a hearing. If they catch you speeding, they determine it's a fait accompli. You were speeding, we caught you speeding. Your fine is 50 euros, 100 euros, or 300 euros, and we've debited your card. And we've charged you 3 points, 4 points, 5 points, whatever they want to do. Theoretically, in some European countries, if you drove very recklessly for 24 hours, you could lose your license in 1 day and not even know that you lost your license. You won't find out till 30 days later when you get all the tickets in the mail or electronically sent to you, and they've cleaned out your bank account for fines. Different system. I don't see much law enforcement here. Hopefully the Nassau and Suffolk police are using a similar system of cameras, but I haven't seen any notification about cameras. Matter of fact, when you're driving in Ireland and you go through a small village, well, speak of the devil, there's a police officer. It's like a state trooper. When you drive through a small village where the speed limit may go from 120 kilometers per hour down to 60 kilometers an hour, which is still about 45 miles an hour. They will have a traffic camera there, and if you're speeding, they will flash red lights at you, make an angry looking face in the red light, and tell you and warn you that you should slow down your speeding as they're taking a picture of your car. And whether you get a ticket or not depends on how far above the speed limit you are going is. And if you're doing well and you're under the speed limit, you get a smiley face and a green light saying thank you for driving carefully and keeping your car within the speed limits. And whom did he get? He got someone in a little sports car. I spotted that car. I spotted him. He was pushing it. I would be speeding, I would say. My philosophy on driving these days is I used to keep it right at the speed limit. Now we're doing about 10 over the speed limit. As long as you're going with the flow of all the rest of the vehicles, they can't give everyone a ticket. But if you're like 10 miles an hour above what everyone else is doing, that's when you're exposed to getting caught. That's at least my opinion. If you drive the speed limit on the Long Island Expressway, which is 55, as you just see a sign passing there, you'd probably be a safety risk. Because as you can see, we're doing 65, 68, somewhere in that range, and we're going with the flow. And there are cars going faster than us. In the HUV lane. And that's where that Suffolk police officer stopped the motorist in what looked like a Mercedes-Benz or BMW sports car. With his top down, too. Enjoying the day, going fast. And what I'm saying about going the speed that everyone else is traveling at, that has no legal validity, because if a cop gives you a ticket for going 10 over, you can't say to him, well, everyone else is going 10 over, officer. Doesn't matter. That you can't say selective enforcement. You'll say, well, I stopped you, I didn't stop them. Okay, video fans, shortly at the next exit we're probably going to stop this video. I'd like to thank you for watching it, and please subscribe and like by punching the red square in the lower right hand corner. That will mean that you'll be notified by YouTube of any new videos we post. I'm stopping here because I want to get some gasoline, because the prices of gasoline are probably 10 cents more a gallon if I get it in the Hamptons than it is right here. So I'm going to stop and get a little petrol, and that will. So I'm going to stop the video at this point. Thank you for watching. All right, video fans, we're back. filled up our car with gasoline. And we're good for the rest of the day for gas. And our seatbelt is on to stop the bell ringing. And we're getting back on the Long Island Expressway, the LIE, the LIE. Not a bad pit stop. Good price for gasoline too. They're cheaper than Jersey, if one can believe it. Jersey usually has the cheapest gas prices. It looks hazy, and because it is hazy. Sorry about that, video fans, but it looks hazy because it is in fact hazy. Part of it's the sun, part of it's just sort of a haze. Pollution maybe? Don't know. Now 9:28. a.m. That's the other strange thing I remember about Harlem. You can go into a pub in Harlem and watch a hurling game, a Irish football game in a pub, and have 2 or 3 pints of Guinness and get tired and think it's time to go to sleep and come out at 10 o'clock at night and the sun is still out, particularly in the summer months. That's because Ireland is very far north. They're about 10 degrees in latitude higher than we are, 8 degrees higher in latitude than New York is. We're around here in New York with the 40th parallel, or 40th latitude, and they're at about the 48th latitude. So they're really somewhere up near the lower part of Canada. Why the sun stays out a lot longer. When I was there a couple of months ago, we actually had the Aurora Borealis that was visible from certain parts of Ireland, which doesn't happen that often. The Northern Lights. Beautiful green lights that look like laser lights. They're actually caused by magnetic effects of the sun and solar flares. And the Earth's magnetic forces. That's the exciting part for me about Harlem. That you can get a Ryanair flight from Ireland to almost anywhere in Europe for probably under €100 round trip. So So it gives you the opportunity of having a base, an English-speaking base, where you can travel around Europe. You could get a base in Luxembourg or Belgium or France, but if you're linguistically challenged like I am, that would be difficult, because it's really hard to establish relationships with people when you don't speak their language. It's really hard to learn new languages or acquire new languages. Portugal is the most inexpensive country to live in for Americans, but you have to then speak in Portuguese. And if you use Spanish, oftentimes they'll get insulted by that if you try to talk to them in Spanish. They understand it fully, but they won't acknowledge that. And in France, most of them speak English, but they prefer that you at least try to speak some French. And I'm not really good with languages. Some people are good with languages, I'm not. So now we're hitting bumper to bumper. I'm going to try to get into the next lane of traffic and see if that helps a little bit. It may not. This is when you have people cheating, jumping into the hub lane to make time to get out here faster, not having the requisite number of drivers. That may have been why that motorist was stopped by the police officer as well. Maybe he was looking for hub enforcement. I'm not sure what's causing this congestion right now. If I had to guess, it's probably related to some sort of construction activity. There's a $1.5 trillion Biden administration bipartisan infrastructure bill that passed. And all the states, counties, local governments are getting lots and lots of money to fix up the roads, bridges, tunnels, airports, and railroads. And that creates, this is the time of year when they do work on roads. There we are. One lane totally blocked up by what appears to be road work of some sort. Unclear what it is. Now we go back to speed. Police officer, probably monitoring the hub lane, maybe, speed in general. Looking for people going to the Hamptons, no doubt, like us. There's a very, very small pickup truck in front of us. It's a miniature pickup truck. Looks like something you might see in Europe or Amsterdam, delivering packages. excited about going to Sag Harbor. I haven't been there in 10 years. Like glare on your screen is what I'm actually seeing. I'm looking at my front windshield and looking at the screen that you're looking at, and basically that's what you're seeing is what you get. That's what it looks like out there. It looks like sort of a gray sky in this direction, not a blue sky. Behind me it looks blue, and with the sun and whatever sun flare exists, it doesn't. It is exactly more or less what you see. So you're getting a really accurate portrayal of what this looks like. Of UPS trucks. Loaded and getting ready to start a day of delivering packages. They were just awarded a very good contract. After 3 years, they make about $85,000 a year, and they deserve it. Last night at prices of hotels in Montauk. Gurney's, where I used to take my children when they were young, was expensive then. I thought it was $300 a night. And in the same room or the same building, something called the Forward Watch, it's now $1,000 a night, or a little more this time of year. So you have to make a lot of money these days to raise a family. off here in Manorville and go to 27 Montauk Highway. Exit 70. We're heading down to exit 2, to State Route 27. Someone tried to pass me on the right to get there quickly. I guess they're in a hurry. Gas price here is $2.79. Fully about, since I paid $2.35, probably about 45 cents, 44 cents higher than what I paid per gallon. Of course, in Europe, it's about $3.95 per liter, and 4 liters is a little more than a gallon. So gasoline in Europe, or $2.95, $3.95, so it's really $8 to $12 a gallon in Europe. Yep. Gasoline is $2.79 out here for regular. Fortunately, that's what this car uses. This is the connecting road to State Route 27. area of Suffolk County is very quiet during the winter months, although more and more people are choosing to make their home here. It's a very healthy commute to get to New York City from here. Highway ends at half a mile. That means we must be here, ready to go on the 27. Montauk, keep left. That's the general direction we're going. Left. Highway ends 1,000 feet. This is just a little connecting highway between the Long Island Expressway and Montauk Highway, which is probably the most efficient way to go out to the Hamptons. As efficient, actually, as they wanted. They could build a higher speed road going out there, but they really don't want that. This is a relatively high speed road for a while, then it slows down to a two-lane road eventually. But that's the way the people want it, I believe. Montauk is 42 miles from here. That'd be probably more than another hour. Hampton Bays is 8 minutes from here. That's where the road gets a little more narrow. It's down in 2 lanes. First town we come to would be Southampton after that, as you've seen in a prior video that I believe is being released this week. So once again, this video is brought to you by Gary's Tours. It's a 4K, 60 frames per second video, which is more difficult to work with than an ordinary video because of the size. A regular video is 3 or 4 gigabytes. A 4K video might be 10. And the extra frames per second makes it more difficult to load, to work with, to edit. But we do that for you because we want you to get the best experience you can get from Gary's Tours. Also, we're very excited this week to announce that we have 2 books coming out, a paperback and a hardback version of my favorite 80 photographs of Ireland 2024. They'll be available on Amazon starting this Thursday. And we encourage you to take a look at them and consider purchasing. They would make great holiday gifts. They're very beautiful photographs in there. We've been working on it the last couple of months. We hope to make it a regular feature and come out with another book every year. Next year we'll be focusing more on the eastern half of Ireland and the northern part of Ireland. These photos are mostly of the western part of Ireland, Kerry County, Killarney, that area. Dingle. For those of you who don't know, my sister gave me a DNA test to take as a Christmas gift last year. I took it and it showed that I was from Killarney and Dingle. And for some reason, before I took the test, that was the part of Ireland that I was immediately attracted to. Maybe something in my DNA made me do that. Who knows? We're coming up to Quogue and East Quogue. Riverhead now, which is the county seat of Suffolk County, where the government buildings are and all the courthouses are. It's where I spent a lot of time as a youth trying cases. Although I started in the Bronx. This is very different than the Bronx. Remember the start of this video, on the Cross Bronx Expressway. A lot more trees to be seen here. Friday. So when the traffic occurs on the other side of the roadway, leaving the Hamptons, very few cars, very, very light traffic. On this side of the roadway, traffic is starting to build. Friday to the Hamptons. Probably took Friday off to get here. Remember, we left Manhattan around 8:03 to get here. It's now, I'd say, about 10:30. Hampton Bays, Riverhead, 1 mile. We understand this as long as we can to get closer to our ultimate destination. Our first stop today, which is East Hampton. We've done prior videos on Southampton and traveling from Hampton Bays to Southampton. We've also done videos on Watermill, which should be released in the next several weeks. And today we're going to finish our tour of the Hamptons by doing East Hampton, Amagansett, and Sag Harbor, which will be 3 separate videos. They'll all be published once a week on Wednesdays in August. When I first started coming out to the Hamptons, where they had dancing places and drinking dance bars and things like that, I can remember coming home one Sunday, and I don't believe that this Highway 27 went out that far, and you could see where it actually ended, and there were like cornfields and things where it ended. So much anymore. Now it's getting, traffic is slowing down because we're basically going to be going down, I believe, shortly to a 2-lane highway. And you see the traffic on this side of the road is 2 full lanes for cars. If I'm correct, we're approaching the end of the divided portion of State Route 27 and heading toward the old Montauk Highway. Which is quite picturesque, I believe. So if you want to stay at a hotel out here, you can probably find something for somewhere between $300 a night up, and you can pay, if you'd like to, $5,000 a night. Wide range of prices depending upon the accommodation you choose. Many people out here rent shares in houses. They rent the whole house for the summer. Get 10 people together and everybody chips in, rent the house. They've been doing that for years. And they work out a schedule, what weekends you have, what weekends I have. I think Bill Maher and someone named, I think his name was Andrew Weiner, I'm not sure what his first name was, were housemates out here at some point in time with a whole bunch of other kids in a house in the Hamptons. Hamptons, voted number 1. Large signs selling vodka, seltzer, the Hamptons, Greek Festival, July 11th through the 14th. That's over now. Greek Orthodox Church. They used to have a Greek Orthodox Church in Port Jefferson that did this as well, and they used to auction off or have a raffle off 10 cars. And they limited the number of tickets. I think the tickets were $100 a piece, but you could win a car. And the cars were, of course, donated to them. That was their big fundraiser of the year. Out here, that police car we just passed, if you saw it in the video, was a state trooper. Out here, basically, you have state troopers at this point. Now we're passing North Road in the Shinnecock Canal. And we're in bumper-to-bumper traffic at about 10:30 a.m. on Friday, July 26th. It's right there, the 24th. I'm the 25th. The reason we're doing these videos is that there's the Shinnecock Canal below us. You can go from that cuts right through from the ocean to the Great South Bay. The reason we're doing videos of the Hamptons is there's a worldwide appeal of the Hamptons. People in Ireland, England, Scotland, France, everyone has heard of the Hamptons. That's why there's a certain amount of interest in the Hamptons and why these videos are viewed. Process, we may edit out some of this bumper-to-bumper traffic. We may shorten what is probably a 3-hour video down to a half-hour video. This is the exit for Southampton in 7 miles and Bridgehampton in 12 miles. I'm going to skip Southampton because we've already done a video of that on a beautiful Saturday morning about a week ago. And now we're going to and we're skipping Bridgehampton altogether. And we're heading directly to East Hampton and Amagansett. Montauk is another 42 miles or so beyond, or at least 25 or 30 miles beyond East Hampton. So we're going to forego that today, although Montauk is a nice place to go to. And there's a lot of 2-lane roads out here. So eventually, what's going on now, I believe, is we're being forced into a 2-lane road. And all this traffic that you see on 2 lanes here will be squeezed into 1 lane going east. Some people who live in the Hamptons take helicopters to get out here. Hampton Jitney is a good choice. You can take a airplane with water landing capability to get out here. I think if I lived in Manhattan, I would probably take the railroad. Of course, the railroad's a rock solid 3-hour run to get out to Montauk, but it goes all the way out. I've been advocating for years that they build high-speed rail between the Hamptons and New York City, but that has not come to pass. They are in this new Biden bipartisan transportation bill for $1.5 trillion, They are putting in high-speed rail between Scranton and New York City. Or as high speed as the rails will permit, because they're not building new high-speed rail. They're not installing new rails all along the way. Right now they're in the process of, I'm told, they're in the process of installing about 10 miles of railroad track that was ripped up in the 70s when the Penn Central went bankrupt, because certain interests in New Jersey didn't want people commuting to New York City from Pennsylvania and skipping over New Jersey. So they ripped up the rail traffic to the railroads for about 10 miles that went into Pennsylvania and over a bridge across the Delaware. They also have to rebuild the Delaware Bridge. It's probably not safe at this point. So there'll be a new bridge across the Delaware and 10 miles of railroad way. Other than that, they're pretty much done. They're building stations in Scranton, Wilkes-Barre, and they haven't started one, but they're building one in Pocono Manor at Stroudsburg, and then there'll be 2 stops, I believe, in Jersey, and the next stop will be Manhattan. So in a half mile we go down to a 2-lane road. Expressway section ends 1/2 mile. That's what this traffic delay is about. Speed is dropping to 45 miles an hour. A lot of folks like to bring their car out. Most of these cars have at least 2 occupants. And perfect weather is predicted for this weekend, so that's why a lot of people, I think, are probably getting an early start to come out here. There's Optimum Internet, TV, phone, and mobile. That's the local ISP out here. Optimum. And the car in front of us is a TC car. This is a for-hire car. Maybe someone from Manhattan is bringing that car out, paying the fare to come out to the Hamptons. Who knows? Now we're down to 35 miles an hour. State trucks for grass cutting. Dan's Papers. I remember Dan's Papers. There's a newspaper delivery company. I guess they're right here. And gas prices here are not bad. $1.49 for regular. That's not bad. It's only 14 cents more than I paid. But that's probably the cash price. Cash price is probably $1.59. My cash price where I got gas was $3.25. Now you can see we're on a 3-lane road. 2 lanes in this direction. Looks like one, no, but strike that. 2 lanes and a center lane for turning. 2 lanes in each direction and a center lane for turns. But now we're officially at this point in the Hamptons. This is where the Hamptons starts. This may well flow into Old Montauk Highway, which I suspect it does. And then it's clearly a 2-lane road. I think we're just on the other side of Southampton. This is the sort of the Southampton bypass. Also where most of the auto dealerships are, a lot of commercial business. Once again, this is a 4K, 30 frames per second video. This is being brought to you by Gary's Tours. You can search us on YouTube. Go to Google, then go to YouTube. Search for YouTube on Google. When we get to YouTube, on YouTube, search for Gary's Tours. We should pop right up. If you like this video and you want to see more videos like this, go to the lower right hand corner of your screen and either click it with your mouse or touch it with your finger, and that will automatically subscribe you to this channel, and then it's free, doesn't cost anything, and you will get notified of all new videos as they are posted. Currently we have new videos posted every Friday through May of 2025. Eventually it'll be June of 2025. And now we're going to start posting videos on Wednesdays. We have another 100 videos from Ireland in production. This month we're featuring videos of Venice, Italy, on Fridays. People apparently are also satisfied to come out and just get a room out here and try to get a permit to drive to a beach. Like all the towns, whether it's Southampton, Northampton, or East Hampton Township, offer beach permits for sale. If you want to drive to the beach, park your car. So you have a house somewhere inland, you're not really on the water, you can get a beach permit. In Montauk, you stay at one of the hotels that's actually on the Atlantic Ocean, or some of the hotels that are inland and not on the ocean have pools. At Montauk Point, there's a pool you can go. It's part of the state park. You can swim in that. And the lighthouse itself is another state park. And I guess people just like to get away from the look and feel of living in a city and coming out to what they view as the country. For a change. You can wear t-shirts and shorts and flip-flops and no socks, which would be hard to do in Manhattan. And come out here and walk around, take it easy for the summer. At least on weekends during the summer. You check out our upcoming video of Southampton, you'll see how we stopped by several real estate brokerages and actually acquire one of their booklets and discuss the pricing structure of houses now in Southampton, which is basically as high as Naples, Florida. We have another video on Naples, Florida, if you're interested, that you can look at, where the prices start around 2.5 million, go up to 22 million or more. For exclusive homes here, that's what the prices are now. It's hard to find houses that are selling for a lot less. The gas at that station, at Hess station, is $3.89 a gallon. Probably cash price. It's probably $4 a gallon. The Hamptons is basically a beach community. As I said in prior videos, I brought a girlfriend from California out here, and this is the best part of New York, she felt, because it reminded her so much of California. And Malibu Beach, Muscle Beach, the other beach areas on the Pacific Ocean in eastern LA, or western LA. Left lane because I think we have to make a left turn soon. I believe we go down here a little further, make a left turn, and head out toward additional Hamptons viewpoints, which might, and that road may be more interesting for you. Hopefully I'll edit out big chunks of what you're seeing now. There's the Hamptons Jeepney coming to cut me off. Just made a stop, I guess. That must be one of his stops there. Southampton Gin. Jeepney. Exterminators. Here's the Long Island Railroad track going east. Straight out to Montauk. Here are the auto dealers. Chevy. Jeep. I bought a Jeep from that place for my daughter. Porsche, Ford, used to be a Mercedes dealer here. I don't see them anymore. Maybe they left. BMW. going to East Hampton and points east. To our right, as you can see in the sign eventually, is Southampton, and to the left is East Hampton, which is our ultimate destination today. The start of our videos, then we'll work our way back westward. And as you can see, traffic is completely blocked up. And the time is now approximately 10:28. And this is the left turn to go out east, where everyone else is going. What kind of car do we have in front of us here? A Bentley, of course. That says something about the area, I think. Remember, this video is being brought to you by Gary's Tours. So if you like these videos, press the little red button with your finger if you're watching on a cell phone, or click it with a mouse if you're watching on a computer. The little red, it looks like a YouTube logo on the lower right hand corner of the screen, and then you'll be automatically subscribed to this channel. And it costs nothing to subscribe to the channel. The benefit you receive is you'll be notified with a flash from YouTube when we post new videos that you might be interested in. And if you like this video, please subscribe. We also are excited about two new books coming out. They're coming out next week. By the time you see this video, they'll already be out. You can find them on Amazon.com, and if you search Amazon by searching simply books in the book department, my favorite 80 photographs of Ireland. That's the name of the book, My Favorite 80 Photographs of Ireland. It's an 8.5 by 11 book, or 8.5 by 11.5 book, hardcover or paperback, with more than 80 photographs, more like 90 photographs, but that's okay. Who's counting? I always like to give extra. Yes, that's a Bentley. Building coming up on your left used to be the Mercedes dealer. I don't know what it is now. I bought several Mercedes Benzes there, as a matter of fact, because the prices out here were actually a little better than prices at other Mercedes dealers, particularly if you came out in the wintertime and bought the car, because they had less people interested in buying cars in December, January, and February out here. So even though it was a cold ride out, very few people, and salespeople were eager to make deals. So I bought two Mercedes Benzes here. Can't have too many Mercedes Benzes. And we have another UPS truck here. Very good job these days. It's way above minimum wage, about $85,000 a year. The gentleman next to me has a nice tan. He's out in the fresh air, wearing brown shorts and a brown shirt, delivering packages. He's happy. This, I suspect, is going to be the reason for this delay. Is we're going to go from 2 lanes traffic down to 1. Yep, that used to be the Mercedes-Benz dealer. They're, I think, closed now. I'm loading the truck in ahead of me. That's part of the BMW dealership now. Mercedes-Benz. And this person, because I was kind enough to let another truck in, he's going to squeeze in too, he thinks. Not happening today. And then we have next to them an Audi dealer that used to be in the And that BMW deal was, I believe, the dealership that was Mercedes. I do not know where Mercedes moved to. And we have a diner. Looks like it may be closed. Lunch, the lobster roll. They're stealing the name from the restaurant out near Montauk, because that's the logo that is used in Montauk. It just says lunch, and it's the lobster roll. This may be bought by the lobster roll out in Montauk. Coming a little further east to sell lobsters. Lobster sandwiches for $40 a piece. This is another auto dealership building. Looks like it's closed. And now we're down to one lane each direction. And I think eventually traffic should start moving a little better. And looking at the time on my video device, we left Burger King in Queens, New York, down the Cross Island Parkway, an hour and 68 minutes ago. So it's 2 hours and 8 minutes ago that we left. We've been driving 2 hours and 8 minutes from Queens, and it took us to go from Manhattan to Queens about, I would say, 45 minutes. So it's by the time we get to East Hampton, it's going to be probably a rock solid 3 hours or more. In the progression of how the Hamptons developed, you had Southampton developing first, and then they worked through the houses. More houses were developed as they worked their way further east. Montauk was always developed and was a relatively small community with a lot of small houses that people lived in. They were mostly rentals for the summer, and a very small year-round population. There's two big buildings to the left that used to be an antique car facility, and we're now entering the town or the village, the hamlet of Watermill. I'm looking at what I believe probably not potato fields. They look like they're actually growing pumpkins. A pumpkin field, so that children can come and pick pumpkins here in the fall. Although it could be potatoes, but I think it looks like pumpkins to me. Pumpkin vines. And Watermill is the second most expensive zip code in the country to reside in. I think the first maybe Beverly Hills, or used to be Beverly Hills. Now I think it's somewhere in Alexandria, Virginia, where there's a lot of mansions that are owned by people who own government contracting companies. For those of you who are interested in Watermill, we have a video that's coming out very soon where we walk through Watermill and the stores and shops that are available in Watermill. If you want to learn more about Watermill, here's the Duck Walk Vineyards. Duck Walk, I believe, is a Pindar brand. It's owned by the wine family Pindar, which was named after, and I'm friendly with the owners of that vineyard. It was the famous Damiano's family of Port Jefferson, two medical doctors, and I think Pindar was the firstborn male of one of the doctors. And that's why they named the vineyard as Pindar. And Duck Walk became another subsidiary brand, a secondary brand that they created. And then there's a field next door which you can't see because we don't have side view vision. There's a big pumpkin sitting on top of it, so I was correct. They are pumpkin fields where children can come and pick pumpkins in the fall. Fresh pumpkins, you pick them. They have a pumpkin logo and pumpkin symbol. I don't know how much of this video is going to survive because it's very boring to me to be in bumper-to-bumper traffic, and I don't know how many of you folks are interested in sitting here and listening to me talk while we're in bumper-to-bumper traffic. So I think a lot of it we're probably going to get rid of. Hopefully we'll start moving a little faster and this will get a little more interesting for you soon. Driving in bumper-to-bumper traffic teaches one patience. Some people are impatient. If you're really impatient, the best thing to do is stop your car, get out, do something else, wait for the traffic to get better. Video of Southampton, we take you through looking at a book that we acquired from a real estate broker, showing many of the listings they have and the prices and photographs of the houses. A lot of them are in Sag Harbor. That seems to be a new area where people are moving to. It's a little closer in than East Hampton and Amagansett. Amagansett is known for the Amagansett Market, which we may stop by and check out today if we get the time. Most of the houses here, like there's a house on either side of this truck that you can't see past, have either high shrubbery. Behind that they have high hedges. Many of them have 15, 20-foot high hedges. So you can't see in, see what's going on, see what they're doing in their houses, because they want the privacy. I guess if you pay $2 or $3 million for your house, you want privacy. So they're very liberal about allowing that. That's how they protect the residents here. Usually if you look in the driveway, you get some idea of what the house may look like. To my left, there's a house there that looks very nice. I think if I lived here in my $3 or $4 million house in Watermill, or maybe my $20 million house in Watermill, I would have most of my items delivered, I think, rather than go out and struggle in traffic like this. This would be very boring, I would think, if I lived here. Something tells me when you come out to your home here, you just stay at your home. You have it well stocked with food. Maybe you go out at night for parties, but this is a Friday, it's not a Saturday. This road is completely backed up. We're not even out of Watermill yet. And I used to come out here very frequently myself. I don't remember the roads being quite this bad at this hour of the morning. Maybe on Sunday night going back, but this is Friday. People are coming out to their homes now. But usually it's Friday afternoon, a little later. I'm sorry this is so boring for you, although the sky is a beautiful blue sky. Blue all over, a little haze ahead of us, but not much. That's over the ocean. I think it's getting better. This is just normal traffic conditions for this part of the world. And the people who are living here really aren't in a hurry to do anything. I'm going to pause the video until we get a break in traffic. Now we're passing through Watermill. Once again, I refer you to a video that will be coming out, I believe, either this Wednesday or next Wednesday on this village of Watermill. And I'll walk through Watermill and the things we saw and the people we talked to. Traffic is now starting to pick up. It may get a little more interesting for you. We're done having merges come in for a while, and I believe we're leaving the hamlet of Watermill. Let's see what comes up next. Hampton Coffee. With Irish flags out. Yeah, traffic's moving nicely now. Motorcycle shop. Gas stations. Roadway in need of some repair. Jogger. This roadway goes all the way out to Montauk Point. We're not going to do that today because we don't have time to go that far. although it's very beautiful out here, I would personally, I think, if I had a rental out here or owned a home out here, I might get really tired of driving out here. I guess the really wealthy take a helicopter from New York and they're here in 20 minutes, but sort of probably dread drive out and on the flip side drive back on Sunday night. If you came out here and stayed here for 2 months, it would be a different story. You still have to deal with the traffic every day. But you could have things delivered in, you could write books, stay in your home, go out at night for parties. Probably much more acceptable. I guess that's what they do. I've heard that in the Hamptons, it's not really so much a bar scene for the residents. For the tourists it is, and for the visitors it is, but for the residents it's mostly private parties at other homes of people they know. And charity affairs, which is a way to meet the people who might invite you to those parties. Charity affairs and art exhibitions and art shows and things of that nature. Field of potatoes. It's very rare to see that. They're still growing potatoes on a farm in the Hamptons. How about that? So they're growing sod on the farm across the street. Yes, it is sod. Chopping up sod for lawns. We're almost out of sod. I've hit on the traffic slow down. I'll stop track video. Okay, Gary's Tour fans, we're now in Bridgehampton. There's another Hampton Jitney stop here, apparently, and we're in the center, approaching the center of Bridgehampton. My mother had one of her teaching friends, a elementary school teacher who lived out in Bridgehampton. And she used to mail me birthday cards, I think, till I was about 45. Very nice of her. She usually put $1 in the envelope. It's another older community, probably developed. It says founded in 1628, so it's been here a long time. I don't know what they were doing here in 1628. And it's a nice little town. We may do a walking tour of this on the way back. It's the Hamptons. Pick and choose. Restaurants, coffee shops, happy people, Starbucks. Here's the center of town, and now we're probably leaving Bridgehampton at this point. Guest houses, hotels, restaurants. Yes, we're out of Bridgehampton. Let's stop the video at this point. We're leaving Bridgehampton and heading to the next town. This is the village of Sagaponack. Not sure how to pronounce that. It's probably an Indian word. And it's a village. And this is traffic's flowing a lot better now. I guess Bridgehampton, a lot of people got off the road and Sag Road. I'll stop the video for a moment. Passing another winery. The tables out front. It's a winery. This is what a lot of the fields have become now. I do see on the right, however, what looks like corn. I'd say that's corn. On the left, it's all vineyards and wine. And cornfields on the right. And there's some people taking care of the vineyard. Some workers, I guess. Looks like they're doing irrigation work, so the water flows to the grape. There are farms out here between Bridgehampton and I guess the next town coming up is Sagaponack Village, but I think it flows right into East Hampton. I'm not sure. I'm going to stop the video again.